Greetings programs. So that was Maker Faire, that little vid that you just watched. I thought I would do a post-mortem on Maker Faire. I know it's actually less than a week. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and the last episode went up on this past Thursday. But anyway, I got all that video, put it together, so I figured I'd talk about all the learnings and everything. So it was a success. Dummy did pretty good. He drives pretty well, surprisingly well, actually. So I was expecting things to break, and I was not disappointed. So the first thing really the only thing that broke is I had his fingers, his right hand attached to the steering wheel. It had a single heat set insert in one finger. In retrospect, one screw probably not enough, and it pulled the heat set insert out of the plastic. So, so the video right at the end of him driving around, if you look close, his hands aren't on the wheel. His hands are folded in his lap because he couldn't hold on to the wheel anymore. I'm probably actually just going to through bolt. I'm going to attach two fingers instead of just one, and I'm just going to countersink on the top of the fingers, and then drill all the way through and then just through bolt. And you won't see because of the shape of the handlebar, you actually won't see the nuts on the bottom there because it's kind of concave on the bottom, the steering wheel. And then on the top, like I said, I'd countersink, and then once I paint, I'll paint the screw head, and if I do it well, you won't even see that it's there. So that was the only thing that broke. So other learnings, so like I talked in the last episode about the air springs, the air pressure needs to be constant, and so it really reinforced that I need to put a regulator in a bottle and just keep them at a pressure all the time, because it's finicky. It's hard to set up to get them to be equal. So I have my bike pump there, and every morning had to sort of reset the springs. So need to get that stuff on order and get that installed. Figure out where I'm going to put it, how I'm going to install it. There's a lot of stuff that's in, it's funny that my wife keeps saying he's big, and he might be big, but it feels like smaller than R2 as far as getting all the electronics inside, because it's sort of long and skinny, the speeder. So I'm having a hard time figuring out where some of these other components need to go. And I do have other components besides the speakers. I want to put a bubble machine in there, and then this bottle, and LEDs, and the drivers for LEDs, and another step-down transformer probably. So there's a lot of stuff in there that still has to go in. I was encountering an RF interference issue, so I didn't go back and look at my old episodes, and I think I covered when I was first powering up the Neos this issue of RF interference. It was on the left drive motor, and now it's on the left steering. It was my voice is it was loud at Maker Faire where we were located next to the stage, and so my voice is a little bit shot today still. Anyway, it was very rare, but it was still happening. It was probably happening a couple times a day, 2, 3, 4 maybe times a day, where the steering motor would basically zing, and it would go like full turn, and it doesn't want to drive very well when it does that. So need to sort that out. I'm looking at maybe swapping out the twisted triple servo cables that I have and putting in a shielded cable. I hate making cables. I hate crimping those tiny little connectors. I can't see them. And I just have a hell of a time getting them inserted into the housing. So I was hoping to avoid that, but I actually thought about wrapping the left one in aluminum foil to see if I could just spread the RF interference out and mitigate that, because that's essentially what a shielded cable is. It's conductors with an aluminum shield, and then you ground one end, so you could essentially do that with an aluminum foil. Anyway, I'll sort it out and get that fixed. I have a bunch of rewiring that needs to get done anyway, which I talked about in the last episode. So at one point, when the hand was still attached to the steering wheel, his right shoulder was binding, and it was actually preventing the steering wheel. So it would go down this way, but then it wouldn't go back up. And so I'm going to investigate potentially putting bearings similar to all the redesign that I've done everywhere else in his arm, putting bearings in the shoulder to make it go out like this. And maybe, I don't know, I need to look and see what, I can't honestly remember what the shoulder design is at this point, but I'll figure something out to make sure, or to try to eliminate that binding. So that wasn't helping with the heat set issue, of course. It was putting a lot of torque on that. So one learning, so right now I just have two cheap Turnigy servos in the head, and it's the original animatronics design. I want to say Chris did it in the UK. So with that servo, his head pretty much only has 90 degrees of rotation. And when he's sideways and the kid is off to the side, I can't get him to look at the kid, or the adult for that matter, because his head doesn't turn far enough. So I just need to, when I redesign, because I'm going to redesign the neck and how that all works. So I just want to make sure that he can turn his head basically a full 180, so that it can better able to look at guests, because that's important to make that eye contact. So, and then in relation to turning the head, not every time, but almost every time that I went to turn the head, I turn it the wrong direction. So the way I have it set up right now, which is the way I think you should have it set up, is move the stick left and his head should turn left, move the stick right and his head should turn right. And I kept doing it the opposite way almost every single time. So there's something in my brain that wants to go the other direction. I'm not going to make a change right now, because the way it was set up, it was a temporary setup, right? So it was just temporary wiring to the temporary servos, and it was temporarily on the left stick. So eventually head motion is going to be on the right, and and in an IMU, so a head-mounted head tracker. So I want to get there's a thing you can buy. I've been talking with Free Sky Ben about it, and it will mount to like your glasses or your hat, and it'll track head movement. So I'm actually going to do some of the dummy's head motions with my own head, and as well as the right stick. So left stick will be left arm only. So the left stick will be in control of all the left arm stuff, and the right stick will be, depending on the mode, will either be driving, or if it's parked, will be the head motions. So anyway, not going to make any changes, but I don't know. Maybe other people have this backwards issue like me. I'm not sure. So, and I don't know. That was all I could come up with when I was putting this this list together on this piece of paper here. There's probably one or two other things, but it was really good. Another builder I had asked Jaime about his bubble machine, and it's in the video. It's Chopper, and Jaime shows up and he just hands me a bubble blower and the RC trigger to make it work. So thank you, Jaime, for your generosity. That was wonderful. He also gave out patches and little resin printed droids and stuff. So very generous. Really appreciate that. So that's it for this episode. And I gotta get back to work now that Maker Faire is over. I feel like I'm never gonna finish this thing, but I am. I'm gonna finish it someday. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later.